Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Wednesday, the 8th of October. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to shoot trading signals. Right. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com. and it's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. Okay, yesterday we saw a bit of a decline here. We've actually got a little level top, which is broken down here with the target. I've started, when we get one of these, I've started just putting a note here with the target, and that's got a target in the 6703 area. But obviously, to get there, we will need to get below the weekly pivot and convert that to resistance. But that's not the whole story. There's also potential head and shoulders forming here. Well, we're pretty close to the ideal right shoulder high. We could see a breakdown here. Now, we have lost the 60-minute sell signals we had on RTY and ES because both of those have made target. But we have got some more limited number on the bigger picture charts, which I'll be having a look at. NQ pretty obviously got a little double top here that broke down. It's too small really for me to mark it in, but it's pretty much made target. We have a larger potential level top here too, which I'm watching. Again, we would need to break and convert the weekly pivot to deliver on that. On RTY, the sell signal made target. The little double top is broken down with a target in the 245125 area. We're back testing the broken double top support at the moment. We've already broken down below the weekly pivot. We're back above it now, but we would need to convert that to resistance to get down there. Is there a possible larger pattern here? Not really, no. On YM, not seeing an obvious reversal pattern here, actually. This looks more like a bull flag forming, but again, if it's a bull flag forming, you could still see another leg down, get us down to 46,500 or something. We will see. DAX. We did have a weak 60-minute sell signal and reached possible near miss target. I've signed that off because it got back to the 70 area. We've retested the high here, and we have a potential largish double top here, and ESTX, this looks like a bull flag with support at the weekly pivot. Overall, I'd be leaning towards seeing a high retest from here, but there are some indicators pointing in the opposite direction. Let's have a look at the SPX chart first. Now, in terms of the RSI 5, we've seen a bit of a decline here, so we could get, with a retest of the high, and a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing. Hourly chart, we've got a weak RSI 14 sell signal that's fixed, nothing on the 15-minute chart. On the Qs, we already had a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing, and now we've got one that has fixed. It's the only one, though, really, so not reading a huge amount into that, but obviously it's an indicator we might see some more downside. On the Qs, on the hourly chart, no current divergence. On the 15-minute chart, no current divergence either. On Dia, again, on the RSI 5, we've seen a bit of a decline here, and we may, if we retest the high, we can set up a nice-looking RSI 5, possible RSI 5 sell signal. Hourly chart, nothing. 15-minute chart, nothing. All right, let's have a look at IWM. Right, on the daily chart, we've got a weak RSI 14 sell signal that had already fixed. If we hadn't, we'd have another one brewing here. On the 60-minute chart, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed, and that hasn't reached the possible near miss target yet. And on the 15-minute chart, no current divergence. Little level top here that's broken down, not made target, just a mirror of the one on RTY, really. In terms of short-term patterns, let's have a look at the others as well. On the Dia chart, not really seeing anything. On Qs, we've got a potential level top here, not the best, but not a bad one either. Looking at SPX, we've got a little level top here which is trying to break down. This is just exactly the same as we've got on the ES charts, and mainly I mark these up on the ES charts as the on the futures charts as the ones to watch. How compelling a case is it for going lower? Not much. It's all about the weekly pivots here. Break and convert those, and we can go lower, but there's not a really compelling case to go lower. All right, DX. DX, we've made a higher high here, and I'm thinking we might be seeing a significant breakup. Is there an IHS here? I could draw one, but not one I would have a huge amount of confidence in. Really, the neckline would be here. And really it's a little too large compared to where it would be going, which would basically be the retest of this high. So I've not drawn that in, but you know, it's kind of an artist's impression of one here. We've got a tiny bit of negative divergence here, which I haven't marked in, but I should have done really, and that is a little 60-minute sell signal. Looking at the pairs, Euro, we finished forming the head and shoulders here, and then it's broken down with a retarget at a retest of the August low at 1.39, and this one was not, well, only marginally oversized. So this one actually is perfectly valid, and we'll see how that goes. If that fails, this could also be a double bottom, setting up a retest this high. So this is an inflection point, which it needs to get through. GBP USD, this could still be an IHS, although the passage of time is not improving it. On USD JPY, the first weak 60-minute sell signal has failed, and a second one is trying to fix at the moment. USD CAD, nothing really obvious happening here. We've here on Australian dollar, again, we're sort of between a head and shoulders, which has broken down but hasn't failed. Or has that failed? No, it hasn't. Came very, very close. Or has it? Actually, that has failed slightly, I think. Yes, it has. So I'm going to take off this line below. And we've got a possible IHS which is forming with, which would have a target back up at a retest of the highs. We will see how that develops, but that's slightly more bullish than I was seeing before. NZUSD, we had a little level bottom breakdown last night, and it made the target, so this could be a little level bottom. So we've got an inflection point here, waiting to see which way that develops. My lean would be towards the upside. I'm thinking just in a general lean from where we are on the bigger picture DX chart. Looking at ZB, ZB, we've still got this little level bottom, which is still valid because they don't really have a failure point. Now I've got a target, sorry, I haven't marked it in here, but I've got a target in about the 117.27 to 118.06 area. I'm still thinking that might deliver, and deliver maybe a retest this high here. ZN, we've got an inverted head and shoulders forming. Not as nice as it was when the right shoulder was here, but still valid. That could break up. Not a lot suggesting it's going to, though. CL actually made the buy signal target here. Kind of looks like a bear flag. HO made the buy signal target here. Kind of looks like a bear flag as well. Here we had an IHS which broke up and immediately failed. We've got another IHS here which isn't bad. Which has broken up with a target in the 1.953 area. Nope, that's not where the target is. Oh no, sorry, that's I haven't marked in a new one here. Sorry, let me just correct that. What's that target there? 1.968. Right, the first one failed. Hang on. All right, so that's broken up with a target in the 1.968 area. That's a decent one, but again, we're at an inflection point. We could just fail back into the lows. NG, nice looking double bottom, which has broken up with a target in the 3.8, 3.828 area, coming back up and retesting this high. Could be heading off to that target, which would be a good fit with the seasonals here. GC has continued higher. We're losing badly this rising wedge here. This does not look like a bearish overthrow, and we lost the 60-minute sell signal as well. So again, this is something I've been talking about in terms of very strong trends. You get quite a lot of decent looking setups in the opposite direction, and then they just tend to get run over. SI has almost made it up to 49. Obvious target is a retest of the all-time high at 49.51. Palladium. Palladium, we've got a test of, well, we had a bull flag, it broke up, and we are continuing higher at the moment. Platinum, which has got a IHS target a long way higher, again has gone up and broken higher. We have got a 60-minute sell signal fixed, and that hasn't quite failed yet, but it's thinking about it. HG, we've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed. We've still got this nice looking little rising wedge, which I'm watching. KC, 60-minute buy signal has reached the possible near miss target, failing at the weekly and monthly pivot double resistance at the moment. SB, we've got a nice looking rising wedge or rising megaphone here. Watching to see, obvious next target would be this support here in the 16.2 area. On CC, we've got not really a channel here. We didn't have an exact touch of the channel support, but watching this to see whether we are bottoming out here. We have seen a big support break on the bigger picture, so I'm not really expecting to see that. CT is continuing lower at the moment, and as I've mentioned, I've got a retest target which would be significantly lower. Lumber, we made the double bottom target. We've got a little level top that's now broken down with a target in the 582.8 to 586.1 area, which I'm watching. ZW, obvious next target would be a little retest this low and setting up this sort of nested double bottom setup. Corn, we've got this. We reached the bull flags resistance and we've broken up slightly through it. The obvious follow through would be a retest of this high here in the 431 area. On soy, still got a nice looking IHS with the target in the 1046.25 area. On ZL, we've got could be a bear flag forming, but we're kind of losing that at the moment. Not really seeing a larger pattern of any kind. Live cattle heading towards triangle resistance in the 240 area at the moment. This would likely be a bullish consolidation. And AG, we've broken down from a little level top here and is still thinking about whether or not it's going to make that target. All right, great. Let's have a look at questions. On GC, what happens if you draw a line from previous low and draw resistance tops? I'm not sure. This is actually such a strong move that I'm not sure I'm really wild about throwing in resistance trend lines. I mean, the obvious other one here would have been that, but obviously we've gone through that. In terms of, I don't really have an obvious other anchor. I mean, this one here, I think we'll have to see where it lands. But at the moment, we've lost negative divergence, and it's looking like a fairly unstoppable force here. If we were drawing channel resistance, pretty sure it's gone through that too. Yep, it has. I haven't got any obvious resistance trend lines here. I'm not seeing this could, well, I mean, when I was talking about this being sort of, a multi-week equivalent of a trend day, that's exactly what I was saying. On a trend day, you just wait till it blows out and then you see where you are. This is what I'm seeing on them at the moment. All right, great. In terms of equities, just a quick recap. I am thinking that we could go a little lower, but I'd probably give that about 30-35% probability. The rest of it would probably be a retest for high, at which point, of course, we'd get a whole load of RSI 5 sell signals spraying, and we might have another shot. Obviously, the government shutdowns, which at the moment, I was looking at the Democrat leader of the House of Representatives, and he was saying the last negotiation they had of any kind with the Republicans was in the White House at the beginning of the month. If there's no negotiations, then it's not going to be ending in the near future. The longer this goes on, the more bearish it's likely to become. So I'm going to be watching that negative divergence with great interest if we do go to retest the highs, which is what I would prefer to see. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning.